Local advocates say raising the food tax will be devastating for vulnerable Utahns. Alex Cragen is with Utahns Against Hunger. He's here to explain why his organization is against the increase. Alex, welcome to Inside Utah Politics. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start off with the impact you see this having. Discuss that.
Yeah, so right now we're looking at the current sales tax rate, which is about 1.75%, and they're looking at increasing that to 4.85%. Now, looking at what families spend on groceries annually, we're looking at an increase in tax burdens on families anywhere between $172 and $252 annually in terms of an additional tax burden, which is quite a lot of money when you're talking about living on a budget where $25 or $15 means the difference between being able to pay rent or pay utilities.
Sure. We hear from lawmakers, though, that they're looking out for individuals in that situation. No sales tax, as far as I understand it, on SNAP and WIC recipients, and also looking at some tax credits to help the vulnerable.
Yes.
You say that's still not enough?
Yes. First and foremost, SNAP and WIC is not necessarily designed to cover a family's full budget. It's designed to cover roughly 70% of what a family spends. If you look at USDA numbers, they say that 75% of households that are on SNAP spend their own income outside of that benefit to alleviate that difference, and so they're still going to experience that. Same thing with WIC households. And then, we're really appreciative of the idea of the grocery tax credit. However, if you look at other states, you look at other models, there's a lot of concern about not only are there individuals that don't frankly file taxes, that we're concerned about them, whether or not they'll know about the program, whether they'll know about how to apply for this credit and rebate. And we're also concerned about the viability long term for this credit. If you look at other states, when there's an economic downturn or there is budget shortfalls, those grocery tax credits are often restricted or gotten altogether.
So, point taken on the SNAP and WIC. Basically what you're saying is, people are going to have to go beyond that and they'll still be taxed there. But talk about others who may struggle, that are just beyond the SNAP or WIC benefits, who are really struggling to make ends meet.
And the other day I was at Salt Lake Community College and I was boothing there, and I was talking to a woman who is going back to school. She's a family of 4. She and her husband both work a full-time job. She works, goes to school part-time, and they struggle. They make too much money to apply for benefits like SNAP, but nevertheless the grocery budget is stretched. And when you increase the sales tax on food, people forego things like fresh fruits and vegetables to go and get things like ramen noodles, potatoes, things that are not necessarily nutritionally dense, but nevertheless will keep you full. And what we see is there's a lot of long-term healthcare impacts there when it comes to having a low nutritious diet.
What would you like to see on the table? Because lawmakers are saying, look, we've got this issue with the general and transportation budgets. We need to do something here. What would you like to see take place?
I would look back to last year. HB 148, a bill sponsored by Representative Tim Quinn, passed the House by broad margins, which exempted the sales tax on food and then increased the overall sales tax percentage to make that revenue neutral. It passed the House, and then it didn't get quite far in the Senate, and so they could look at that as a potential alternative to this.
So what's your message to lawmakers as they look with this bill and potentially even a special session?
The first thing that we say to them is we need more time as a community. This is a very large bill. There's a lot of things going on, and the public needs to be more aware about what's going on around this issue and what is going to be impacted around this tax bill. And then finally, don't tax low-income households, middle-income households. A lot of these people are already in situations where housing and utilities are difficult to come by, and that additional expenditure could tip people over. They'll fall through the cracks, those kinds of things.
So what will you guys be doing as advocates in the meantime?
So right now we have a petition on our website at Utahns Against Hunger, UAH.org. You can sign our petition there. We're going to also be reaching out to other community partners to sign on to a letter that we'll be distributing to them. And then we're asking people to call your legislator, call the governor, let them know what your experience, because policy is kind of built in this laboratory of ideals, and what they need to know about the real impact of what's going to happen.
All right, Alex, appreciate your time. Thanks so much for being here and sharing your perspective.
Glenn, thank you.